Will the Chiefs represent the AFC in the Super Bowl?
I think so. That's where I'm going today. That's where I've come to. And the reason why is because for them to take their offense on the road the way that they did, Patrick Mahomes is the real deal. We all know that by now. Tyreek Hill is something special to behold. They can run the football. They can throw the football. They got a quarterback that can do both, obviously, and that matters. Their defense is horrid. We get all of that. But I believe, based on what I saw last night, I don't think the Chiefs are losing more than 2 games this year. That means that the road to the Super Bowl is coming through Arrowhead. And because it's coming through Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri, I only see one team being able to go into Kansas City and beat them. And that's the New England Patriots, who I don't have much faith in will be able to do it on the road. So I'm here to tell you today that I believe that Kansas City is going to represent the AFC in Super Bowl 53.
I'm not ready to say that. Let me start by saying Patrick Mahomes, everyone knows it by now, even Stephen A. has to admit it, is the truth. He is the truth. Even the interception he threw. That's what you like to see in a young quarterback. You're going to kick a field goal. It's going to be 24-12 at the half at Foxborough. You're going to wind up losing conservative. He's going to take a shot. Didn't work out, but he is not afraid to lose, this kid. And even after the game, I'm going to keep slinging it. Patrick Mahomes is the truth. And yet, look, matter of fact, if he was a little worse, they could have won that game. They scored so quickly, it left the Patriots too much time. And yet, this was a high-flying offensive game. And it's easy to fall in love with offense, and this is what the NFL wants. Look at how happy everyone is, all the scoring, right? And it's in every sport like this. NBA, Major League Baseball, they score more runs, they score more, points. Everyone's happy, and that's what's happening. But still, the more well-rounded teams have an advantage. And I look at the San Diego Chargers, and I assume Bosa's going to get back, and he's going to be himself. And I see a more well-rounded team. I know they're snake-bit and everything, but I see a more well-rounded team than either one of these 2 teams. By the way, Stephen A's point about Kansas City only 2 losses, now you got to go to Arrowhead, maybe the Patriots are the only team that go in there. I took exception with the odds on this game. The Patriots 3.5 points. And that half point bothered me because you get 3 points for being at home. What the odds makers were saying is the Patriots are just better. In fact, San Diego covered. In fact, on a neutral field, Kansas City should be a slight favorite. In fact, at Arrowhead, Kansas City should be the favorite. What we saw last night, I think, says that Kansas City, if there's a little difference between the 2 teams, the edge goes to Kansas City.
I don't understand. You said the edge goes to Kansas City, but you're going with the Chargers, right?
Between the Patriots and the Chiefs.
Okay. But but you still got the Chargers.
Chargers, yes. And by the way, week one, the Chargers lost that game because every single receiver dropped the ball. Phillip Rivers was dropping dimes. I thought, if anything, the Chargers showed they were the better team week 1.
So just to be clear, you're saying you're going with the Chargers. That means you believe that the Chargers are going to Arrowhead Stadium and beat them?
Correct.
Okay. Well, I need to know.
I picked the Chargers to win the AFC West. I did. And the Chargers are one game back. Not a lot of people really understand it. Chargers 1 game back of the Kansas City Chiefs. Boy, last night, Patrick Mahomes put on the show. He put on the show. I give him, even in a loss, I give him a lot of credit because when you watch him in the first half, boy, he missed some throws. He missed some throws where they were clear touchdown passes, and you were thinking, oh, is this one of those situations where you're playing in Foxborough? Is a moment too big for a guy like Patrick Mahomes, who's really like, I kind of equate it to a Ben Simmons. This is his first full season of playing football. But boy, did he get it cranking in Foxborough last night. And looking at that game last night, I'm gonna have to roll with the Kansas City Chiefs because you also got to remember. This is a Chiefs defense that didn't have Justin Houston, one of the best, probably the best pass rusher on defense, and Eric Berry, their safety. Those are 2 key cogs on their defense. And as hard as their defense played last night, you put those 2 guys back in their defense. I mean, that makes a pretty big difference for their Kansas City Chiefs defense. Now, I think the key for the Kansas City Chiefs, you gotta get it in Arrowhead. I don't think if you get it back to Foxborough, I don't think the Chiefs will be able to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl. You got to get it back in Arrowhead.
But he almost pulled off the comeback.
He almost pulled it off, but I think
4 TDs in the second half.
For a young team, They need that home field
He did
advantage
pull it
at
off.
Arrowhead.
Then Brady pulled it off.
Yeah.
I did. First of all, it's nothing wrong with you just saying Stephen A. You're prophetic.
No, I'm never. First of all, I'm never going to say. First of all, I'm never going to say that. I'm never going to say that. No,
it's okay.
I'm never going to say that.
It's not a crime. That's number one. Number two. Let's not forget what happened to Breland Speaks. We can't ignore what happened to linebacker Breland Speaks, who had Brady in his grasp, but thought that Brady had let go of the ball. So that roughing the passer penalty and all of that stuff.
It's rearing its ugly head right now.
It's rearing its ugly head right now. Let's not forget that. Let's not also forget that ultimately we've been speaking about concussions and all of this stuff, but the reality of the situation is that the overt and overly protective tendencies of the NFL as it pertains to the quarterback is serving the league well, because when you see the quarterback being protected and you see a play like that and you see how it facilitated the score, you see how the offense was going back and forth, this is what's making the NFL that much more attractive, which is why the numbers are up since the first time.
And we're going to
since
get into all of that.
We'll get into all of that.
And
But
the
in
whole
the
Breland
end,
Speaks
to get to
situation.
your point about Arrowhead, that's why. That is more so than Mahomes. Obviously, Mahomes has something to do with it, along with Tyreek Hill, Kareem Hunt, who had a 67-yard touchdown catch as well. The biggest thing for me is this. The road looks like it's going to come through Arrowhead. I am not making a prediction because I think that the Chiefs are going to end up in Foxborough for an AFC Championship game. I think the Pats are going to end up in Arrowhead for an AFC Championship game.
I don't know if I think the Chargers are going to be there instead of one of the two teams you just mentioned. But you think Mahomes gets the same kind of calls like Brady? You can't breathe on him. A lot of guys fall into that category, none more than Brady. Sam Darnold, you can light him up. You may not get a roughing the passer call, right? Like, what category does Mahomes fall into? Is Mahomes going to get protected that way?
No, he's a star. I mean, he's a star, and you got to protect your stars in the National Football. He's earned that right now. If that same type of call happened, he's going to get it.